Hey there guys, Unofficial Star Wars here, hope you're all doing well, and in today's video we have our second part 2, to how we would exactly go about fixing the sequel trilogy for our 1000 subscribers special. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support, both here on our YouTube and our Instagram. It means the absolute world to me. If you haven't already, check out part 1 for exactly how we'd go about fixing the Star Wars sequels. That video, of course, is out right now here on the channel, so go show some love and support over there as well. Before watching this video, I'd highly recommend that. So kind of basing on from where we left off on that first video, this here of course is part 2 to that part 1 video, of course. So kind of leaving off from where we left off on part 1 for exactly how to fix the Star Wars sequels in my own, I guess, opinion and thoughts here. Of course, in that first part, I had mentioned adding in maybe some sort of animated show, of course, that really tells and combines the whole story between the three trilogies, or rather the three trilogies, the three different movies, of course, and then going on to furthermore really better connect the three trilogies then with having different characters, like bringing back Ahsoka Tano. Nobody actually said she's dead, and then again, nobody actually said she's alive, so this would be, of course, a perfect opportunity to really bring her back in the flesh to help finish Rey's training, and then furthermore to begin training for Finn, of course, as well. And then we could also see Rey go on to train Finn and give him that proper Jedi training that we all know he really did deserve back in The Force Awakens, of course. So more promptly in that whole, I guess, first half in part 1 of this type of video here for the 1000 subscribers special, we really talked about what would happen between episode 8 and episode 9, The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Now we're really moving on to talking about what would exactly go down here after the events of The Rise of Skywalker. There's really only one proper way to really handle things and go about this stuff and really fully properly fix it. Now, and that huge thing, of course, would be bringing back, of course, Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One, in some sort of shape and form. And since they already brought Palpatine back, they have to do it again. And no, they kind of already defeated him and got rid of him in The Rise of Skywalker, of course, but it wasn't done properly. Rey is not exactly the Chosen One, and I know there's different, I guess, perspectives, of course, on who exactly is the Chosen One. In some eyes, everybody's really the Chosen One when it comes to those terms. Seeing the original trilogy, Luke Skywalker would be the Chosen One, and in the prequel era, it would be Anakin Skywalker, and then, of course, for the sequel era, it would be Rey Skywalker, of course, but that's just not exactly how I kind of roll with those things. I really do think that Anakin is promptly the Chosen One because, no, and Luke Skywalker didn't exactly fulfill those prophecies in the original trilogy. Yes, he did very well play a huge role in doing so and really inspiring Vader or Anakin to come back to the light side of the Force and then really finish off what he had started there. So with that, of course, while having more training for Rey and Finn, we would also get a glimpse here at how to, in some sort of way, of course, resurrect Palpatine once again. Of course, this here would be taking place in the animated show, building up to the 10th and final Skywalker saga movie on how it's really supposed to be properly ended. Like I had mentioned in part 1, I think a good season 1 and season 2 between episode 8 and episode 9 would very do some good there. Seeing that whole time gap there, we could really get a glimpse there at the rise of Palpatine's Sith Order, or Sith Eternal there, and then get a better glimpse at Leia Organa, Leia Skywalker, really training Rey and getting into some of that Jedi training more and more. So with that, I think another season or 2 and maybe even 3 seasons taking place after the events of Rise of the Skywalker would do some very, very good. We could get some cool, I guess, episodes and different scenes there of Ben Solo reaching out in the Force and talking to Rey, maybe even helping her with some training, helping Finn with some training in the Force ways, much kind of like how we saw in the original trilogy, having, I guess, Obi-Wan Kenobi talk a lot to Luke Skywalker when he was in times of need. He was really present, I think, a lot for some of that training there and was really there to lend a hand. Same thing kind of applies for The Last Jedi, kind of like how we saw Yoda come to Luke Skywalker there, of course, and really help him and talk to him, of course, as well. Everything on that end of the sides would proceed as foreseen, of course, but having Palpatine resurrect and come back once again would be a whole nother thing in some aspects and ways. But essentially, it would pretty much be the same thing. Maybe they don't have to do the whole Sith Eternal, because that was just kind of doing too much, to be completely fair with you guys. They were really doing too much. We've already seen the downfall of Sith Eternal and really the overall First Order as well, so there's no point in bringing that whole army and all of that back. Why not just bring back, I guess, what is known as the Sith fleet, or kind of like the Sith cult almost, and much rather than building up an army of having a Sith Eternal or a First Order army, why doesn't Palpatine, of course, resurrect himself on Exegol, because Exegol, remember, was never actually destroyed. Of course, all the different Star Destroyers and all that had crashed on the planet, making it a very big mess, and then, of course, Palpatine's quote-unquote laboratory there, of course, was also destroyed, but it doesn't make any sense. Why can't he just, I guess, recreate it and get back at it and start again, of course? And much rather than doing a Sith Eternal or the First Order, why doesn't he go for something bigger and better and make some sort of a Sith army? I know this is kind of a stretch here in some ways, but much rather than making a First Order or a Sith Eternal, it just makes more sense to go bigger and go badder, make something that's going to be bigger, of course, and really do it, and something that's going to be nearly unstoppable, and furthermore kind of connect back almost to the prequel era, and even on from that, the High Republic or the Old Republic, with having a Sith army purely made of clones. Now that could, of course, be Snoke clones or whatever you really want. I think it would do better as different clones of Snoke, of course, aka Palpatine. I think would just do better, and then of course they would have their kyber crystals as well. Now, in the whole terms and ideas of how they're able to collect so many different, I guess, kyber crystals is a whole nother mystery. Maybe even then they can clone kyber crystals, but I don't really exactly think that's a thing in those terms. Much how like having clones that are force sensitive exactly isn't a thing either. At that, it's very difficult, but it has been done. With that whole idea could also introduce the concept of Starkiller becoming a thing and having an army of Starkillers. I know it sounds pretty far-fetched, but I think it would be a direction to go in fixing the sequel eras. Now, essentially, the whole idea of having a Sith army wouldn't exactly have to happen. Of course, I'm just throwing it in there because I think it would be kind of neat, kind of cool to kind of have something like that actually be a thing. I think it would be kind of neat. It doesn't necessarily need to happen, and in all honesty, I don't think it would exactly work, because there'd just be too many of them and not of the Resistance completely, or having something that fairly matches up that's actually reasonable in those essence and those, I guess, concepts. All in all, it's really aside from the point. We do have, I guess, some sort of Sith cult, I guess, rise once again with the different, I guess, type of Sith guards and Sith people there that we did see on Exegol, kind of like Palpatine's henchmen that were really deeply into helping him clone himself. I'm not exactly sure who those guys were or what they were supposed to be, if they were Sith or really what they were. They're just kind of like henchmen that were kind of there working for Palpatine, helping him clone. So essentially would pretty much just have those guys once again. And of course, there were a lot of them that were in the stands and were chanting, if you guys do remember. So even then, that does have to mean there are more of those, I guess, that Sith cult out there, somewhere out there, that could very well build up some sort of army. So with that, just going to throw it in there, much rather than maybe having an army on Palpatine's end of Starkillers, it would be kind of cooler to have some sort of army on the Resistance side of different Starkillers that are actually force sensitive with lightsabers and all that, to kind of really take on, I guess, that whole Sith cult there of Palpatine's, much rather than just having the whole place collapse down on them and easily killing them. I think it would be much better to put up some sort of awesome galactic giant battle between the Jedi and the Sith. What are those Jedi are clones or not, I think would be really awesome, and I think it really would be the way to have them cloned much rather, and that would kind of bring in the whole essence of having Starkiller be a canon thing. Now, that's besides the point, of course. Like I had said, we get to the whole point, pretty much back to the whole idea of where we're back on Exegol, and Rey is fighting, and Finn is, of course, is fighting Palpatine, and then that's the only thing that would need to be fixed, honestly, in this whole scene, is to have a a scene here where we have, instead of voices of these Force ghosts, we actually have visuals of these Force ghosts rise up once again. And throughout these different seasons of this animated show, we have different scenes here where we get visions of Anakin once again as a Force ghost, up to the point in the actual movie, episode 10, we could have visions and scenes here with a Force ghost to Anakin Skywalker, of course being portrayed by Hayden Christensen himself, kind of give advice to Rey and Finn on how to take him and get him to Exegol, of course, to really fulfill his prophecy in defeating Palpatine once and for all. So all in all, pretty much what I'm saying is that they would have to have some sort of Anakin Skywalker Sith, or not Sith ghost, but Jedi ghost out there, or Force ghost much rather, out there, that would pretty much bring the final blow and the final strike to really fulfill that prophecy of defeating Palpatine once and for all, and really fulfilling the prophecy of the Chosen One all in all. Now, it's either that, or you just don't make the sequels canon, which I don't really think would work all that much. I mean, they spent too much money and time into that, so yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you didn't already, of course, go check out part 1 to this video. Thank you guys all so much for all the love and support, both here on the YouTube channel and our Instagram. It means the absolute world to me. Go comment down below what you guys think about this little fan fiction here. Of course, what would you do to change around the sequels? I'd love to hear what you guys all think. And leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as it really does help with the channel. Check out our Instagram, Unofficial Star Wars, for more Star Wars related content. Of course, I do plan to make more Star Wars fan fictions out there, of course, so go comment down below on what other fan fictions would you like to hear, more of like a what if type of thing, like what if Ahsoka joined Maul is one of those that are out there on the channel. Maybe something I might do an updated version of course. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and join us for more Star Wars related videos and Star Wars videos, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when new videos come out, guys. And thank you so much for watching up until this point, of course. May the Force be with you always. Peace out.